Okay, here we are. Again, we're in Springville, Utah. Now, this is supposed to be in the fictional town of Henson, Kentucky. And if you refer way back to the beginning of the episode, that's supposedly still about 175 miles short of Chicory Creek. But in reality, this is still Springville, Utah. And this is probably about 3 or 4 blocks to the west of the house we were using for Erasmus's house. So, here we are. Supposedly in the story, we're 175 miles from Erasmus's house, but in reality, we're about 3 blocks away.
Don't worry about it, honey. It's all gonna make sense to you in a second.
Again, this was a moving scene for me to watch. Just the whole idea of establishing, the power of the angels, and again, one of the major themes of Touched by an Angel, that God knows you, God cares about you, God wants to be a part of your life, God wants to work with you. These are all the themes of Touched by an Angel, also so well portrayed in this scene. And again, Della Reese just with the perfect delivery of all these concepts and ideas and lines, and working through the humorous aspects of the scene as well to make it kind of fun to contemplate how angels maybe are working with us, whether we realize it or not. I also want to just take a moment at this point to indicate that what I'm doing right now, recording this commentary, this is instructional, this is commentary, criticism. I'm not trying to undermine the sale of Touched by an Angel DVDs. And so I've deliberately used an old VHS tape to get the video here that I'm presenting, that I'm commenting on. So it's not the highest quality I could probably get my hands on. You should go buy the DVD if you want that. Also, because I'm talking so much, this is absolutely not a substitute for buying the DVD or watching the show on some syndicated rerun to really get the show and enjoy the production as it was presented. I'm not trying to undermine any of that. Go watch the show on syndication. Go buy the DVD. I'm going to deliberately keep what I'm doing here of lesser quality and not try to present the episode in a way that would discourage you from saying, "Hey, gotta get the DVD." Okay, so I hope they're still making good profits off this, even though, man, it's 18 years since this was done. That's amazing. All right, back in Pleasant Grove, where the bus has arrived back at not a real bus depot. We just put a bus depot sign up on the wall, and there you go. And just to prove that I'm not trying to undermine the fact that you need to watch this show in a legitimate place and not just on YouTube or something, I'm going to start really messing with the quality of the video, and just going to blast through and make things look wrong so that you'll say, "Oh, this is horrible. I got to get the DVD. I can't just listen to Greg's version of this." Okay, so here we are back at Erasmus's house for Dinah's birthday party. One of the subplots of the show is that they're gearing up for Dinah's 13th birthday. And somehow, through all their struggles, they've still managed to cull together enough stuff to have nice treats for Dinah. Now, you'll notice that this is a night scene, and it's outside behind Erasmus's house, where we've seen this part of Erasmus's house during the daytime, right? Just outside there. But now here we are at night. Now, so now here we are again at night, but we're across the street from Erasmus's house. Now there's a major difference between what you see right now and what you saw a moment ago. This is really out on location. The wind is blowing, there's Wendy's hair blowing around, and they're obviously across the street from the house. There's enough of depth there that you can definitely tell the house is way back there. So this is a real location. And but the other one that you saw, and we're going to go back to that, was not a real location. Again, the issue here is having to shoot a scene on location at night and have it really be nighttime. Back in the old days, we're doing westerns and stuff. They do an effect they called day for night, where they would shoot something during the daytime, but then using filters and really just kind of underexposing the film, they would make it look like night. But you know, that had a kind of an unnatural look to it. Audiences would not go for that today. So you know, with the types of equipment and film and lighting that we have now, we can do these night exterior shots actually at night, and they you know, they look authentic and they look nice. But again, you have to wait until the sky above is dark enough that it really looks like night. You can't do it like right after the sun goes down. You have to wait, you know, at least 45 minutes until the sky really gets dark. So here they were, and I believe this is one of the springtime scenes, where we're actually at night shooting night stuff, or I should say they were, because I wasn't there during the springtime stuff. Now, the problem with shooting all the stuff at Dinah's birthday party and the other stuff with the rest of the cast members out behind Erasmus's house at night, again, especially because of it, the reshoot in July, was that, again, you couldn't have started shooting that scene until, say, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then it would have taken a couple of hours to shoot that scene. Now you're after midnight. You're going to be, you know, wrapping up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you've got these minor actors. I mean, they are under age 18, working at night after midnight. Oh, that was not feasible because of child labor laws and whatever considerations there are going there. So rather than shoot this at night, you know, after midnight with these young actors, this entire place that you're seeing right now was built by the art department on a soundstage. And that soundstage is actually the place where the Donnie and Marie show was shot in the late 70s. They had a comedy variety show on ABC during the 1970s, and they built a studio in Orem, Utah. Really nice big soundstage. And so we actually used that soundstage to shoot this scene. And the art department, they recreated the backside of Erasmus's house, the backside of his garage there, the decking material. You know, there's like a scythe or something that's hanging on the wall back of the garage there. All the trees and stuff. This was all done by the art department to recreate what it looked like at the house in Springville. And I thought they did an incredible job. I mean, I could go stand in the middle of this set, the way it was all lit up, and just for a moment kind of close my eyes and open them again and think I was back in Springville. It was eerie how well they did it. But I suppose if you look carefully, you're going to see that the lighting doesn't quite look like it did when you know, Claire and Russell were out next to the tree across the street. That's because this is in a soundstage, a controlled environment. But you know, again, it was nice to be able to, I believe this was one of the scenes we shot on the Saturday when we were doing the reshoot. So this is like a Saturday at, say, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning is when we were actually shooting this scene, rather than some night, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So anyway, this is, again, a powerful scene expressing the themes of the Promised Land show and setting up how is this going to work. And the premise is it's a family that, you know, he's lost his job, he's lost his home, but they do have a Suburban and a camper, and they're going to go out and see America, and they're going to help people along the way. They're going to, you know, become closer as a family. They're going to do the work of angels as far as helping anyone out there who may need help, and they're going to get to know America, the Promised Land, the home of the brave. Okay, so here we are. Now it's real daytime here now, and we're actually back at the Springville house, the real place, for the kind of the wrap-up scene here as we send the Green family off on their way across America. once again, it's just what a delight to see Ossie Davis. And see, I was a stand on the show, so I was standing in for Gerald McCraney. I'm about the same height and about the same hairstyle that Gerald McCraney had, so I was his stand-in for the run of the series. And I watched the scene, and I remember being in that spot. I was standing there when we were setting up the cameras. I was standing there with a guy who was standing in for Ossie Davis, and at some point I was actually standing there next to Ossie Davis and chatting with him. And what a treat! This does bring back some cool memory. All right, you can see they've kind of scuffed up the hood of that Suburban. They want it to look not as shiny as it might have otherwise been, because you start to see reflections of camera equipment and things like that. And so, yeah, they went on their way to... If you notice, the Airstream trailer, that's like a giant mirror. Well, they've managed to dull it down a little bit, and it gets more and more dull as the season goes on, because... well, we just didn't want it to reflect every possible thing that might have been out there on set with us. All right, I believe this. I think we're back to the original version of the pilot episode that was shot in the springtime here. The actress, not having to come back and work with us again in the summertime because the scene as it was shot originally is powerful. It's emotional. It's it did its job, and there we go. So I think this is again part of the reshoot. Them standing on the steps of that real Presbyterian church that happened to be there in Springville, Utah. And there's an interesting relic from the Promised Land show. Okay, it says "Home of the Free and the Really Brave." Again, Home of the Brave was the original title of the series. So yeah, as far as that sign goes, we were nearing the end of the run on the Promised Land series. We were almost done with the third season, which was the final season of the show. And we were at the warehouse where we were using studio space in this old converted warehouse. And there was this thing kind of down in the corner somewhere, gathering dust, looking all ratty like they were going to throw it away. And I looked at it, and it was that sign that had originally been in the back window of the trailer in the pilot episode. And well, thinking someone was going to sweep that up and just throw it away anyway, I decided to take it home. So I have that sign as part of my souvenirs from the show. Don't tell anyone. And of course, as they say on the internet, oh, pictures or it didn't happen, right? So here. That's it. That's the sign. So anyway, if CBS wants it back, it's about the same condition it was years ago. When I decided it needed to be saved from the dumpster. You can have it back. Just let me know. Otherwise, it's kind of fun. I don't have a lot of souvenirs from the show, but that's kind of a fun one.